I do think curation is a really important word here, because it's very important in the church at the moment, because people walk into church and haven't got a clue what they've walked into. Be a bit like me going into a betting shop. Yeah, frankly, I don't know what to do. I don't know what they're doing. It's that freaky. And so everything is sort of, people are having to think a lot about curation. And I do think, in some ways, theatres are trying to do that more and more, as you were saying, with people talking about it. That you get the sort of pre-theatre talk, don't you, or the conversation. I mean, in Cambridge, where I am, the theatre, which does have quite a lot of straight plays, come for short periods of time. They often have a conversation before it, rather than after it, interestingly. So to help people into it. The fact that you mentioned that is also, I think, difficult, which is why I think a lot of people are starting to watch theatre now that's been recorded. I mean, the National Theatre website, where you can, is it £9 a month or something, you can subscribe to and watch all the plays now on your television. It's cheaper and it's quite popular. That accessibility is an important issue, I think. A lot of the straight plays, I think, are happening in Fringe as well. I was at Edinburgh this summer, and places heaving with those short straight plays that you remember, but in very small venues. I want to talk about commitment, but I wouldn't want the sermon to be manipulative. So, as I think I said to a little group last night, John Keats said about a poem, you must always beware of a poem that has designs on you. Now, has a sermon got designs on you? In some ways, I suppose it has. But if it's out to get you to do something that may not feel ready, or is somehow trying to play with your emotion in some sense, I'd be very cautious of that. What I'm looking for is something that does have, what I was saying, authority, some sense of purpose, but is also put out there for you to make of what you will, but I'm doing it from as much as an honest position as I can. So I'm not trying to work out a rhetoric that's going to grab you and then lead you into a place that you're certainly not ready to go to. And I think, there is a style of preaching that can be like that, and it's one that I'm cautious of, if I'm honest. I tend to, we all have different, I wouldn't want to say a sermon has to be like this or that. The great thing is lots of people have different styles and approaches. But whereas a lot of sermons, particularly in universities, it's like a river. It's prosaic. It's like prose. It begins and you follow the river, you follow the argument, and then you come to your destination. And that's fine. A lot of people are attracted to that, and a certain type of personality is attracted to that way of thinking. For me, I much prefer not a river, but a fountain. I prefer something to draw from, because I will get distracted. And the preacher's talking, and I'm off somewhere, and then I'll come back. And if there's something else that I could draw from this fountain, I don't particularly want to go back and say over Sunday lunch. Now, the preacher's argument today was, propositionally A, he said, I just want to grab a little, it's a bit like beach combing for me. I find little bits on the beach and I pick them up and I decide which one to take home. Yes, I'd come back to the John Donne word. I think you've been given permission to come near. Not to manipulate, but to come near. So that we can connect somehow. And I often say to preachers who are in training, don't try so much to be relevant, try and be resonant. Yeah. So resonance is something that's perennial, because we're human beings. Relevance could end tomorrow. And
that resonance that is about nearness. And you can make of it what you will, but you might say, oh yeah, I do recognise that. Now what? That is very different from I'm going in to manipulate you.